there, Brendan?
I will, just in case it actually is used for anything. I'll pretend.
I
mean,
think we should use it.
yeah, we'll try to. Yeah, as long as I'm not just fucking hacking my guts up and it's just stupid. But
People might like
yes,
that. People
hello.
might be into that.
Yeah, they might like that. Yeah, that change of pace. Hello. We are here. What are we doing? The three of us are talking, and we're going to talk about random topics. We each have some random topics. Mine are garbage because you might be able to tell, I'm quite sick. My brain isn't working, and I tried to think of. I made a little list, but they're not very good. So I'm hoping these two have brilliant things to talk about. I'm sure they do, and I'm sure we will be able to have a scintillating conversation, regardless of
Don't get your hopes up.
Well, Brendan,
we will orchestrate one, whether we feel like it or not. We'll force it into existence.
Why don't you let the listener know what the structure and the format of the discussion will be? And then we'll kick it off by starting with the genesis of this conversation, because this conversation was going to be a heated debate between you and I, and it turned into what we have for the listener tonight. So what's the format for tonight before we...
The format is that we each have some topics, and we are going to force our topics on the other people, and they must discuss them randomly. They don't know what the topic is going to be, and it could be very scandalous and annoying, or it could be anything. And that's really what we decided to do. Because yes, initially it was going to be a Bush debate, which is fucking retarded. I mean, what's the point of that even? Like I like Bush, these two don't. Okay, hurrah! Like whatever. We're not going to agree. I'm not going to convince you two idiots, even though you're totally wrong. And once more, but yeah. So we will talk about that, maybe just ever so briefly. Maybe there's something to say about it. I don't know. But yeah,
I think
it was going to be a big
we'll have to talk about that at some point.
Okay.
We're gonna start with it, because this was going to be a battle of the Titans. This was going to be the showdown. The showdown of the century. This was going to be the debate of the year. We were going to close 2023. Brendan versus Astral. Bush or no Bush. But then Michi found out about it, and she's like, "Oh, I want to. Brendan said I could come. I want to come."
So cute.
Yeah, I think she was, as a lady, she was slightly reticent. She was just coquettishly reticent about actually discussing this and maybe revealing.
Of all the women I've met online in my life, Michi is certainly the most coquettishly reticent of all of them.
Is that really loud when I cough? Maybe I should mute the mic. Probably.
Well, mute when you're coughing. Yeah, mute when you're coughing. Okay. All right. So listen. Me and Michi take the popular view. We're pro bald.
You know what's interesting is that I tend to side with Astral in all of our debates, which is actually shocking.
Yeah, because she can't fucking stand me, and I drive her insane.
Yeah, it's true. I wouldn't think that would be how it would go.
Well, on Bush and Black Sabbath, you do. Yeah.
There's other things too. Another thing I'm going to bring up. I already know.
Instead of Beans, Base, and Battlestar Galactica, we have Bush, Black Sabbath, and Brendan.
And I'm on my own against you two bullying me. You harpies.
So I think because me and Michi take the popular side on this, that Brendan should lay out his argument in favor of Bush. I have come up with one thing that it's good for, and I bet you're not even going to say it. I'm going to let you present your argument before I tell you the one thing that I will concede to you about it.
Okay. Well, let me just say I do not like a giant jungle of a bush, like the obvious tangled, network of knotted dark coils that is like really insane, and it is ghastly, I think, for everybody. But if it's, as long as it's somewhat modest and natural looking, I think it's just fine, and it's good, and it's a kind of even fascinator for the area. And it looks natural. It feels like a natural thing.
Well, hold on, but
I haven't.
Okay, go on.
Okay, you want me to say, or do you want?
Wait.
No, keep going.
I'm going to forget my point if I don't ask you now.
All right, quick. Say it quick.
Okay, but doesn't it put you off about the thing that I find weird about a bush? I find the little haircuts are bizarre looking, and it's none of them. Yeah. I don't know. There just doesn't seem to be a way to do it that just looks.
The little Hitler mustache. You just got to keep it trimmed. You just got to keep it not from going crazy. I think.
Brendan's right,
the little bizarre, little bizarre rectangles and shapes and things are stupid. Yeah, and
no,
you still get
lovely.
actually.
No, they're the only good thing about it. Go on.
Well, okay.
Oh,
but even with those, you get the other side effect that I don't like, which is like you get this bizarre stubbly mound, which is kind of gives you road rash and stuff. I don't like all that either, and I just think it kind of looks just prepubescent and kind of weird. And it's obviously also very popular. I tend to dislike popular things, or something. I don't know. But like when I was a kid, it was all. But I'm also older than you guys, and when I was a kid, it was on just dead normal. That was just the way it was all the time. I remember when it became the other way. Like, wasn't even seemingly that long ago. I don't know. It was in the 90s or something. And then all of a sudden it was the thing to do. So to me, it's just not abnormal. I really like the vintage photos of women in nudes much better than the modern ones. And that plays into that as well.
We've
noticed.
But it's not for that reason. It's not for that reason. That's just like a side effect or artifact of the scene. It's mostly because they seem, to me, well, either more natural in every way and like generally more beautiful, and then I like the quality of the film over like the modern digital, which is just a matter of science that you get a higher quality on old analog film than you do in a digital format or whatever. And what else? What was I going to say? Yeah, the bush is just like an artifact of that. So it wouldn't be something I'm not actually super obsessed with it. It would seem I am, just because I think it's funny to talk about, I guess. But I don't really care that overly if it's not there either. Like I'm not, but I do prefer it. Yeah, I would say I definitely prefer it. And it's a funny thing to fight about.
I think bush doesn't make any sort of biological sense. It just doesn't seem natural that it should be down there. It doesn't seem something.
It's supposed to protect, like.
It indicates a woman, like instead
disease.
Of a little girl, a fertile woman is the indicator.
Yeah, and it's also supposed to keep like microorganisms and like animals out, and like insects from like, it's supposed to like protect. It's supposed to like capture invasive pathogens or whatever from getting in there.
Well, now that's a funny theory. If you want to talk about evolution or whatever, we can discuss things like that, because that's one of those funny theories that sounds like a convenient thing you can say in hindsight that I wouldn't be sure that evolution is really doing or planning. I mean, catching little bugs.
It seems to make sense to me. That's what I always assumed intuitively.
Yeah. Could be. But yeah, I think that's most of the reasons. I did have another one. Of course, I forgot. I'm absent-minded. I forgot. It'll come to me. You tell me what you want to say, how I did not bring up your amazing thing that's good about it.
No, I was saying that as a joke. I was just going to say the thing that it's nice for is to like nuzzle your face into it. But to be honest with you, it's nice to.
It is, yeah.
It's nice to nuzzle your face into it, regardless.
It just looks bizarre without it. It looks like a little like stubbly thing, kind of. Not. It doesn't look bizarre. I shouldn't say that, but I don't know.
I just don't think that like the way it looks goes. It's like this like stark contrast. It's like so pink and nice and moist, and then like they have it surrounded by a jungle of hair. It just seems like.
But that's the raunchiness. That's the animal part that you need in there.
That is true. That is true.
I do agree. I mean, this is how I feel about men's pubic hair, that like I don't want them to touch it because I just like nature and I like things as they are, and I think it's weird to manipulate them. But yeah, I feel the complete opposite about a woman's bush, and I do think it is largely because of my age and yeah, it was like going through puberty as that became like a huge thing, just like shaving absolutely everything.
Going through puberty, why would you do it then?
I didn't. I just mean when I was like going through puberty, that's when it was like becoming super popular.
Oh, I see. Sorry, right, of course.
Yeah. And so yeah, my generation just is all about shaving, and I do associate it with like hippie, like dirty woman.
Yeah, you do. I've noticed you think it's dirty. It's fancy.
But yeah, I do. I feel the complete opposite about men. That if they shave, I don't like it. I want it to be really rough and wild down there.
Yes, but you won't accommodate the men in the reverse with the wildness. You're like, no, they must be clean and civilized.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would if someone really wanted me to, but And I actually had one for a long time because I felt like it did make me seem like a little girl when I would shave. It's like, it is kind of weird. And I feel that way about a man, like when a lot of men, when they shave their face completely, it does have that same, like, it's just like something is off about it. It's like,
yeah, I know. I hate doing it. Little baby face. I fucking hate it.
Yeah, it looks.
I mean,
weird.
I don't. I'll do it, and it's okay, and I get used to it after a while. But at first, I always hit it, and my kids hit it. They're like, "Wow, what are you doing? Who's this guy? Who's
Yeah,
this baby face?"
It depends on the guy too. If you have like a thick beard, then it's not going to work. But obviously, there are men who don't have like a ton of facial hair, and it looks better. But yeah, it just something about it's off, and I feel that way about a shaved vagina too.
Well, so have you said you are not so opposed to the bush, but you generally don't like it? That's your stance, yes?
Well, there's three stages. There's clean shaven, stubble, and hairy. And I think I think the clean shaven is the best. Stubble is the second best, and the hairy is the least desirable.
Right.
It has to be. It has to be at least trimmed.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, maybe, but like not stubble. Stubble is nasty, I think.
Yes, well, I made this comment on a recent Twitter space with Michi that as a guy who dated a few single moms, I'm more acquainted with this. I'm more acquainted with the stubble than I would have otherwise.
That's a single mom favorite, is it?
Well, no, they're too busy to keep it properly shorn.
Properly shorn. Well,
it is so nice when it's freshly shaven. It's just like so soft. It feels great.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Michi's getting me hot and bothered like she did last time. We have to change the subject.
This is why I didn't want to talk about it, but I can't resist. How can I resist?
Yeah, so that's it. I think it's good. I think it's good, and that's why. Well, you didn't have a refutation for my reasons for thinking it's good. Basically, it's natural, and I like those vintage photos.
No, but I mean, my refutation would require me to get rather graphic because.
I do think too. You're on about the ancient Romans shaving all their hair. I know I've seen pubic hair on like Greek statues. I know I've seen it. And I don't think they did that, but I
we should find this out. I'll just make this as an offhand comment that we don't have to debate. The reason I said that is because I know upper class Roman men shaved everything from the neck down, and even their faces. They would have their entire bodies covered in olive oil and then scraped clean as a way of it was a way of like cleansing their skin. And they would also have themselves shaved. So I just assumed that the upper class women would do the same thing, but I don't know that for a fact.
Maybe you're right. I just anecdotally remember seeing it on statues. That's all I know. But maybe they were even Victorian statues of Hellenic sculpture. I don't know.
But if anybody listening knows the answer to this, they should contact Brendan and tell him if it was a common practice for Romans to shave their nether regions, if not their entire bodies.
Yes, I've somehow inadvertently fallen into being a champion of bush on the internet, and like I don't even really care that much.
I think that the main argument against it is just that women that have bushes now are dirty and
dirty. Like some really savage hippies that they don't shave anything.
Yeah, they're like feminists. That's another thing.
Oh well, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's like hair, yeah, and it's even worse with the armpit hair.
Oh, I don't mind that either. See, that's the more controversial one. I don't even mind that either. I don't care.
That's so much worse.
Which is so much worse?
Armpit hair.
Armpit hair. I know you agree with her, but I don't mind that. I don't care about that.
Oh my god!
Not unless it's like vast and like a jungle. But no, I do not like leg hair. I've seen girls with leg hair, and that is fucking gross.
Okay, so hold on. First of all, leg hair is the worst. But I do want to say that I don't mind a bush or a hairy armpit. I don't mind either. I just prefer them to be shaved. I much prefer them.
Yeah.
And I am an armpit aficionado. It's like graduating from beer to champagne once you understand the delicacy of the armpit. You know, few appreciate this. Few appreciate this.
Jesus, oh my God, this talk so scandalous. Oh, excuse me. I was going to say, what the other thing I like about the vintage photos is you can sense in them, because Michi said about feminism, you can sense a lack of feminism. They're kind of posing as dirty sluts, and you see it in their face. You get the picture that afterwards they went on to become mothers and like normal women. Like you see them now, and you just see some ruined fucking whore, and like just think she's sassy and like a girl boss or some fucking thing, you know. And look at me, my shaved pussy, you fucking bitch, fuck off. So the lack of feminism I detect in those vintage ones also is nice. Here, I'm just gonna go make myself a hot whiskey. I'll be like 1 minute, or less than a minute.
Oh, so Brendan's leaving us. He's leaving the children to fend for themselves, apparently.
That's a dangerous move.
Well, when he comes back, we will start the topics properly. But I want to ask you, as a woman, how does it feel to have your armpit attended to by a man?
I can't say that I ever have.
Oh, I think you have. You must have.
No, I haven't. I never have. I don't think anyone's ever cared about my armpits. No one's ever noticed them.
You have not been with the right men, then.
I guess not.
Oh God, what are you talking about? Some scandalous thing? Something even worse than usual.
I've never had a man go after my armpits.
You've never had you never had a man lick your armpit?
No, I know that. Not that I can remember.
Well, Michi's not in the mood tonight. She's usually very forthcoming with her. So, Brendan, what are let's do our 3 topics.
Okay. Who wants to start with the 3 topics?
You.
Me? Shit, mine are terrible.
You're the host.
I started. Bush was my first one. So
well, Bush will be your first one, all right? So I'll bring up my first one, which is my raunchy one. Or actually, no, Michi, we'll let you do yours first.
Okay. My raunchy one. I wanted to ask you guys your thoughts on physically harming women during sex and just how hard you would go.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's a good question. But of course, you realize...
Yeah, for a YouTube stream, is that what... It is brilliant. You got us on the spot. Holy shit.
I know. Well, okay, so I know that neither of you are against punishing women physically. But in the bedroom, yeah, say you're the woman who just wants you to like go all out and like punch her in the face. Like she wants to leave that situation with black eyes and
Can I answer this first?
Yeah, go ahead.
I've done that. I've punched in the face. I've full on open hand slapped. I've smacked titties around with full force.
This is awful.
This is like really
choked to the point of feeling the larynx collapse. And
my God,
it was thoroughly enjoyed, encouraged, spurned on, and it inspired some very good sex. I won't get any more graphic.
I really regret asking this already. That was bad.
He sounds like he's secretly a serial killer or something.
Well, there was another person that was just with one person. There was another person who was just equally as much of a brawler in bed. But I won't tell that story because it wasn't quite as intense as with this other woman. So. But there's been 2 women in which we've visited great harm upon each other to very good effect. It was enjoyed by all and encouraged to be taken farther.
What happened when you decked her in the face?
Yeah.
Do you really want to know?
Yeah.
Well, we were going at it when I did it, and she told me to do it again. And I kept doing it.
May I ask what kind of woman this was? What was her...
Where am I going to post this? How am I going to use this?
What did she do for work?
But anyways,
it wasn't. Michi knows I was with a stripper, but it wasn't the stripper. But although the stripper was the one I got the most violent with prior to meeting this person.
Okay. Well,
I'll tell you what she did for a living off the air, but I don't want to say it on air.
Okay.
Hooker.
All right, Brendan.
No, she was a normal person. She wasn't a stripper.
Oh, she was a.
She was a normal person.
School teacher, I guess.
I got with a school teacher.
Oh fuck.
Not that different species of human.
You know, I do want to make an addendum though. I just want to say I'd like to do this again some more. I'd like to get even more violent. I'd like to bring a knife.
Jesus Christ.
I'd like to bring a knife.
What? Okay, listen. You probably actually can't. You're actually like. I'm definitely not posting this to YouTube. If you're talking like.
Why
it sounds
would
like threatening violence. Because you want to bring a knife, like.
No, women like
I know, but it sounds.
No.
That's getting a bit touchy now. Even if you do, I do think. Well, I mean, I probably won't put it on YouTube. This is too nuts. I'll put it on fucking somewhere else.
just put it on fucking YouTube, all right?
I want to bring a knife. I don't know. I think that's a bit much for YouTube. I can see.
I proposed that once to a woman bringing a knife, and she showed me a scar on her breast where she said her boyfriend used to bleed her. This really happened.
No, I know. Even if it's all done in fun, but just to say it is on YouTube is a bit.
What kind of woman do you hang out with?
I will tell you, this woman plied the same trade as the one I punched in the face.
These are the most broken art hoes imaginable.
Yeah, seriously.
No. Broken art hoes. No, broken art hoes don't get down like that.
Well, okay, you've got great wisdom in the bedroom of great masochistic wisdom.
Yeah, these three women actually all shared a similarity, but it's too revealing of my own personal, because it's how I met them. I can't explain it, but
right.
Yeah. Anyway, go on. Okay, Brendan, what's your answer to her question?
Oh fuck.
No, art hosts don't like this. No, that's not an art host thing. They can't take getting punched in the face. They're too fragile.
Excuse me. I don't think I did ever actually outright deck one in the face, and that would be pretty bad. I think with someone be missing teeth, I would not. It's just too risky. I would not do that. But there was a couple that liked to be slapped or choked a bit or like. So if they want that and they ask for it, I will do that. Yes. And I don't mind. It's okay. But they have to want it. I don't just do it. But yeah, no, I never punched any in the face. No, I did not.
Well, the thing though, the problem that I have with the thing is that it's like I'm not into like playing out this little fantasy where you're like miming or mimicking like a scenario that the woman like wants. Like when I decked this woman in the face, I just did it out of nowhere. She had no idea that I was going to do that. We were just having normal.
I would not do that. I would not do that. But yeah, okay, go on, yeah.
No, that's all right. I won't go any farther. Michi's probably never going to talk to me again. You're never going to have me on my.
I'm a bit disturbed. I won't lie.
She wasn't asking for it, and you. But she said do it again. So you're lucky. You're lucky. She said do it again.
I thought we both were going to be like a couple of slaps here and there, but like, oh yeah, I wouldn't go that far. And then Ash was
like, you asked the question.
Yeah, well, I was hoping for a different response.
Oh, you were hoping for a different response. What were you hoping for?
Well, just said it. Couple of slaps.
Your fingers over there. Yeah.
A couple of slaps here and there, and
he's got a cigar case full of fingers.
I wonder if Michi's asking this question because she just watched Blue Velvet.
No, but yeah, no, actually, that's not why.
Oh.
But that would make sense.
Well, it's a great show.
I would never want to be punched in the face. That would be the worst thing ever.
It sucks. It's not fun. It's like wham. Last time I was in a fight, it was years ago, but I remember I got a pinched nerve in my cheek. I couldn't feel my cheek for like a month. I remember that. And I was like, oh, this sucks. Like, it's not worth it for a little bit of that. Yeah, go on.
I only did it to one woman, and I knew going into it that she would be okay with it. for the record. I wouldn't have done. I've never done it to anyone else.
Yeah.
I only did it to her because I knew that it would go over well.
But yeah, Michi, absolutely the fucking stunning showstopper question that is. I mean, what?
That is a stunning showstopper question.
That was a stroke of genius. But holy shit.
Well, she bit off more than she could chew, I think.
Right. So we answered that one. So I guess it's what? My turn again? My questions are shit. Hold on.
No, well, let me get mine out of the way because it's
Oh, yours, right? Okay, yeah.
Well, only because it's like my only raunchy question, which it's like I feel like completely inferior to Michi's now. But mine is how you both feel about anal, both clearly giving and in Michi's case receiving, or I guess.
Oh my god! Oh. Really good. Oh my god! Okay, fine. That's fine. I don't know where I'm going to put this. You want to? Okay, it's too late to back out, so we have to. That's fine. I don't know where I'm going to post this. Everyone, just be honest.
Well, you definitely can't say on YouTube.
No, I know.
Really?
You went farther than I did, man.
Yeah, you can't say it.
But that's like pretend like their idea.
You can't even say the word at all.
Yeah. No, she's right.
I didn't know that.
Can't you just edit it out, man? You got to put this on YouTube. I want to put it on Twitter for everybody to listen to.
Oh,
all right, I could. Yeah, I could. But I don't know. You're dying for people to hear that, are you?
Well, let's see how it goes, and then we'll determine whether that's worth
I think we should all.
I mean, how it goes, it's already gone, Michi. It's already gone.
I mean,
how it goes.
Yeah. I mean, if we can recover from you talking about knives and decking in the face, that might be worth it, but we'll see. Okay, so, anal. Brendan,
I want Brendan to answer first, yeah.
So, giving and receiving, is that what you're asking? Actually,
yes.
Well, in your case, giving, obviously.
No, receiving too. I mean, you never know.
I'm assuming the answer is he does not have any interest, nor has he had any experience receiving. So we can just move on from that.
Well, one of my questions for you was, what was it? This is how stupid they are. Astral, if you were forced at gunpoint to have sex with me, would you do it or take the bullet? So, what's the answer?
I want to say I would take the bullet, I think.
Oh, my heart is broken. My heart is broken.
Wait, but what's the setup, though? Is who's giving, who's receiving?
Setup?
Yeah, who's giving, who's receiving?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Do you want me to make that call?
Who's giving, who's receiving? Yeah. I guess it's got to be worse for you, so you got to be receiving.
No, it has to be better for him, I think.
Okay, well, that's me then, I guess.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Astral, you're giving.
It's that or you die.
I don't know if that would be better. They seem equally as bad.
Well, you got to choose. So choose.
I would take the bullet, man.
Would you actually, though? Be honest.
I gotta be
completely honest.
I gotta be honest. I don't know what I would do.
I would fight the guy and maybe get shot. Yeah, I think.
Right. Fight the guy and get shot. There you go. Fight the guy and get shot. I like that.
Well, yeah. What are you gonna,
No. There's only two choices. There's no third option for you to escape.
Okay.
You
that's true.
Think about your beautiful family.
Yeah. All right.
Well, you know what I do want to say about this question that I like. If I did decide to live,
that you like.
If I did decide to live and I let Brendan go to town on me, I like to think he would understand what a horrible traumatic situation we were in, and we would like be bonded for life after that. And we would like have beers together, and he'd be like, we'd have beers together, and he'd be like, "Don't worry about it, man. I hated it. I was just as terrified as you. I didn't enjoy it at all."
You secretly be hoping I'll bring it up, and.
Well, I mean, my point is I would be traumatized for life. So we would be like Vietnam veterans meeting up every once in a while, like having a beer together and like, supporting each other through it. I would like to think anyway.
Horrific gay episode, yeah, absolute horror. So that was we squeezed in two questions in one. What was your question?
Anal.
It was about do I? Yes, I've done it.
Do you like
what? I've never received it, obviously.
No, of course. No, you've given.
I do like it.
Yes, anal, and you like it. Yes. I have, and I don't like it.
Usually, it wasn't my idea, even.
No, it's always the girl's idea. It's always the girl's idea.
It often is. Yeah.
Not true.
Yeah, but Michi, you're not a deviant. You're a virginal, sweet little innocent baby bird. So I'm not surprised this is scandalous to you.
No, but I'm saying like, yeah. I mean, yes, I'm very innocent, but also I've had men propose it to me several times.
And you turned it down?
What?
Did you turn it down?
Sorry.
I mean, I'm not going to get into too great detail. I will say that I
describe in great detail exactly what happened. Yeah.
Like it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
And I'm not. I will not do that.
Yes. Good. So I don't like it. You don't like it, and Brendan likes it. It's the same again. It's like we're.
Oh, you don't like it? I didn't know you didn't like it. Why don't you?
Yeah, no, I don't. It's. I'll give you the easiest answer to why I don't like it.
I mean, it doesn't happen often, that's for sure.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I don't like it. Because the pussy is right there. It's right there.
I know. But in a certain mood, it's an extra.
Yeah, the point
level
is
of filth and depravity.
Yeah, it's like. It's so wrong.
I think that's one of the reasons I don't like it. And I also don't, I gotta be honest, I don't like when a girl is like, he, let's be bad together. Let's be dirty. I'm like, bitch, I don't fucking need you to be dirty. I'm in control here, and we're gonna, do what I say, and you're gonna like it. I don't like the pretend stuff. I don't like.
It's not pretend. I will say I've done it and enjoyed it.
a reversal.
But it was a very exceptional circumstance with someone that I was very, very passionate with. But it was rare. I think only one person actually.
Okay, so you did it and enjoyed it once, but for the most part, you're against it. Right,
yeah.
Let's move on to the next question. I'm disgusted. I'm fucking disgusted.
But wait, I want to ask.
Both
I want to ask something related. If a really, really hot woman that you had been dating for years and had like a really good sexual dynamic with was very desperate to peg you.
What a question.
Would you let her? If you had a very intense sexual dynamic.
I can tell you without hesitation that absolutely not.
Never.
Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I let her do certain things, but not that, no.
Right.
Certain other things maybe, but not that, no. It's too gay. You'd feel like a gay. You cannot relinquish your manhood to a certain level. You just can't do it.
Yeah. And again, I don't get into these like fetishes and stuff, this stuff is like the power dynamics, playing around with power dynamics and stuff. I'm not into anything like that.
Well, that's kind of like naturally what sex is.
Yeah, and I like to be the one in control all the
time. Oh, okay.
Whose turn is it to ask a question?
Well, let's get off this disgusting, filthy topic, and please.
Why? This is what we're here to do. No? What you just try to enjoy it. Enjoy it the best you can.
I'm really just joking. I'm really joking. All of this was a joke. All I've ever done in my life is missionary sex for procreational purposes, and that's it.
Yeah. I know. We're all virgins. We don't have sex.
No, I'm not saying I'm a virgin. I'm just saying I have missionary sex with the intention of procreation. So isn't that what like Protestants do? Isn't that why so many people are becoming trad cats so they can like have good sex?
I can tell you when it's time to have babies, it did seem to help actually to do that. When like for a couple months went by. I don't know for sure. It could be coincidence, but like when you're trying, right, and those months are going by, you're like, oh fuck, it's not working, and then. That was one thing that did seem to change it around. Yes.
I don't know. I think it's coincidental.
Oh, maybe.
So, Michi, why don't you tell us what your next real question is?
Is it my turn? I thought it was Brendan's turn.
Is it her turn? Is it my turn?
Okay. It's Brendan's turn.
Okay.
Okay, you like my last retarded question, so let's see what else I want to do. I mean, they're just a hodgepodge. Okay, how about this one? So well, there's another kind of sexy one. Should we get it out of the way?
Yeah,
let's get it out of the way. Although my tolerance for this is really.
You were the grossest one during that segment, and you're saying your tolerance.
The most extreme. He's cutting them up with knives and he's attacking them.
I will never see you the same way after what I've just learned. But we're the ones. I mean, come on.
But the women listening are gonna like it though.
You're disgusting.
I don't know if I should ask this because it's kind of stupid.
Just go ahead.
Okay, what are your thoughts on lipstick lesbianism?
Oh, well, what is that exactly?
Yeah. Go on. What is it?
No,
you don't know what it is?
I don't know what it is.
It's sort of like the how do you describe it? The not adroit lesbianism, but sort of like a beautiful young girls, playing with each other, and almost everybody seems to universally get a bit of a kick out of it. And like, why would that be biologically? And it was sort of my wonder. What I wondered, but what do you think about it? But not everybody, almost everybody universally gets a bit of a kick out of it, I thought. I do have a theory as to why, and I actually got in trouble for it once. So what do you two think?
Oh, I'm so curious. What were your theories?
I'm confused. Yeah, I'm confused. How is this even a question?
What do you mean?
I think it's stupid, but I like it, if that makes any sense.
The question or the lipstick
lesbianism? No, lipstick lesbianism. If you mean like two hot women who aren't really lesbians, but they're getting it on together to turn men on, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, I think it's hot, but it's also ridiculous.
I think it turns girls on too, though. I think it
turns girls on.
In the way that gays are not, gay men are not.
Right. Yes, you're right about this. I agree with this.
So why would that be? I think I know in the realm of nature, why would that be? Is what I'm curious about. I do have a theory, but it's kind of a stupid theory. But anyways, what do you two think?
Well, that's my answer. What's Michi's answer?
I can't think of a theory as to why, but yeah, I mean, I like it. I like the idea of it.
Well, see, there you go.
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody does get a bit turned on with it. Yeah. So, but even for girls,
I mean, there's really nothing bad about it. I don't think anyone would say it was bad.
But it's like I don't think two men going at it is.
Yeah, no one does.
Yeah. And I'm very straight, but I think two hot young ladies. That sounds pretty nice.
That's actually common.
Yeah.
That's actually common. Yeah.
But I know. I don't know why.
What is Brendan's theory here?
Yes, enlighten us, Brendan, please. Why do we all like it so much?
Did we lose Brendan again? We've lost Brendan, Michi.
Back. That's what it does every now and again. Mutes me. Okay, so it's a fucking stupid theory. I got talking drunk with this guy once. And how's it go? It's fucking not true and it's stupid. And in fact, it might have even been his idea. I thought, yeah, maybe. It's like in ancient times when you had like your harem of war brides in your hut or whatever. And if they started messing with each other like that, it was a sign they were ovulating or something, and it was time to fuck them all and make them pregnant. If you're talking about like evolution and biology and what nature's reason for making that universally attractive?
Okay, that's a good question. Yeah,
over long periods of time, and that's what I mean. I just said the answer.
I think that actually kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Wait, what is the answer?
That when you had your little harem of war brides or whatever,
right?
And if they started messing around with each other, it was a sign that they're maybe ovulating. They're so horny they start messing with each other, and that's time to get in there and fucking and do the business, right?
Oh, that's a great theory. That's the answer.
You like it, yeah? Maybe.
I think it's right.
I don't know, but yeah, maybe. And I got in trouble for that with some rad femmes who I posted that theory, and the idiots, fucking retards, all they got out of it was that, oh, look at him, he wants a harem, he thinks he's going to get a harem. And I'm like, just talking about biology, like I'm not, so I'm making an idiotic random speculation. And they were fucking harassing me over that for so long. I was like,
well, of course they are. They probably would get mad about the shaved pussy thing too.
I also wonder if I don't find men going at it attractive because that's just like too gay, and it's
Nobody.
it's too effeminate.
It's too gay.
It's too effeminate, but women doing it, it's just like I don't know, it just doesn't seem like as big of a deal. And like women are,
as long as they're not real lesbians. Real lesbians are kind of horrifying in that same kind of gay way.
They're disgusting.
Sour and kind of sickly and weird. Like, just when they're messing around, like when they're just messing around from like sheer horniness, it's universally exciting.
Well, but here's the thing: the women I think that do it are turned on by the fact that it turns men on, but the men doing it men doing it with each other are not doing it for the women's pleasure. They're doing it for their own pleasure. So
yeah, that's true.
I think that's part of the issue.
Yeah, and when women become fully lesbian, I think they do it for like political. I think it's a political move. It's like a social move. Oh, I'm becoming this group now. I'm not going to have sex. I give up on trying to have kids or whatever. I don't know. But then I had another question actually related to that. What was it?
Oh my God, it's gonna be the whole show.
Let me just get through it. Did gays exist in the past, and why don't they just stop not be gay? as in, like we're supposed to believe today, right? That when someone's gay, that the poor guy, if you don't let him be gay, he's going to kill himself. Oh my God! But like, if you really think about it, like, what's he doing? So you're just going to stop him from fucking a man, and say, fuck a woman. Is that really the end of the world that he's going to kill? He must kill himself, and I'm supposed to sympathize with him killing himself because he can't fuck a man.
Listen to this guy.
It doesn't sound like it should be that hard to just not be gay. Even if you have that urge, though, it wouldn't be that hard. Like think of people in the past, people that went totally, abstained from sex entirely over their vocation, different reasons, and now you cannot stop. You have to put up with this because they're going to fucking die and shrivel up if they don't.
Yeah, but it's. I think people that there have always been some gay people. I mean, now it's definitely like a cultural move, and people are influenced by that largely. But I do think.
But it didn't exist as an identity. It didn't exist as an identity.
No, I mean you had to hide.
They wouldn't marry each other and stuff. You could have gay sex, but it wouldn't be like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They wouldn't act like women and stuff. I don't think. Sorry,
yeah, so the urge has always been there.
Yeah, no, it has always been there. But like, I don't think they constructed that kind of identity out of it quite recently. I think.
Yeah, it's a big lie.
We consider it hallowed and holy. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not so sure about it. But maybe that's a crazy theory on my part.
Well, we could talk about this for the whole show, but I don't really want to.
Okay, that's fine. So I hit you with 2 questions there. Whose turn is it, Michi's or yours? I don't know.
Okay.
Oh God, something else harsh, probably.
It's a little. It's not sexual.
No, yeah. Let's move on.
It's not sexual, but it's still. It's
I may have ruined my friendship with Michi forever.
Yeah, you did.
But come on, don't say that. I was lying. All
right, so. So, the situation here is. Your child comes to you, having fallen in love, and is going to marry their new love, and you have 3 choices of the race.
Oh, I love this.
The race. Oh, shit. The race.
Of the race.
This is a good one. Michi.
So your child is truly in love. Like they were desperate to find their one true love, and they finally have, and they're so happy. They're just beaming with joy. But they tell you that their man or woman is either a New York Jew, a Mexican, or I don't know. I was trying to go with Arab for the last one, but I couldn't decide on a country.
You could go Arab or black.
Arab. Yeah.
Okay, what's your Arab country?
Well, I put Moroccan because it's a little lighter, it's a little easier. But then I was like, Saudi Arabian might be funny.
Here's the problem, though. Here's the problem. There are like upper class Mexicans who are basically like white Spaniards. And
okay, no, it's a low class.
Like
grew up in a
barrio,
in a bit of dirt. Yes.
Like a mestizo who's like half Indian, half Spanish.
Yep.
All right. Well, I know my answer right away, and I really want to know what Brendan thinks.
I want you to put them in order from best case scenario to worst.
Yeah,
and you have to accept it, and you have to go to the
what type of Arab? You must decide what type of Arab we're talking about.
Yeah, what type of I'm gonna okay,
Moroccan
I'll go
Moroccan works. Yeah, Moroccan's fine.
Moroccan, okay. Who's going first?
You are, because I already know my answer immediately. It's a very easy question, believe it or not.
I think it's pretty easy too.
First of all, there's no scenario in this world where my heart melts over their love story and I just lay back and fucking start crying, and I don't like beat the shit out of them and tell them to fucking wise up.
Yeah.
But let's presume I don't have that option. I would say Moroccan, Mexican, New York too.
No, dude, wow. We are so far apart, man. We are so far apart in everything.
Well,
I basically have the exact opposite.
What?
I would go New York, Jew, Moroccan, and then Mexican. Easy.
What?
Without hesitation.
Wow, I would put you last too.
No.
I would say Mexican, Moroccan.
Well, you would have no idea what you're talking about.
I would say Mexican if it was like just like a regular kind of Mexican guy. But if it was like full-blooded like Indian, I would be a bit dubious. There'd be a lot of like alcoholism and stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh God! You would do the opposite. You two are completely like.
We're upsetting you with our.
You're not. Neither one of you is like has like your wits about you and being.
I can't believe you. I thought you would put New York Jew.
Okay, so
I thought we would all be on the same page.
Hold on a second. There's two types of New York Jews. Okay, there's the whiny, smarmy, like conniving coward.
Yeah, we better watch the talk if there was any hope. YouTube. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. I mean, you can't say that.
Astra's like, you better put this on YouTube. I want to promote it on
so there's that kind of New York Jew, but then you also have like the you have the Brooklyn attitude, like Italian seeming Jew, like Andrew Dice Clay or the Beastie Boys or like Adam Sandler. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like one of like the dysgenic New York Jews, but even if it is, it doesn't matter because they have very strong familial ties and familial networks, and a lot of them are rich. So if your daughter marries one of them, she's going to be taken care of her whole life.
Yeah, but think about what she's marrying into.
She's marrying into like an intact family system where they're like financially secure for their entire lives. It's a no-brainer. Can you imagine if she married a fucking Mexican who like climb the wall to get here?
Exactly.
And like
that's
how
the
much
lowest. We don't like what's going on.
The Mexican is the last choice.
The
Mexican is the last choice.
No, because they're cool. At least they like.
No, they're not cool. You've never met one, dude. They're not cool. They're horrible.
Okay, what would be the first choice of another race around the world? I know what mine would be.
The Japanese, probably, or Korean.
Yes, obviously Japanese. Yeah.
Yeah, Japanese.
But then, like some of the Arab races are pretty cool, actually.
I would almost go Arab over Japanese. I like Japanese culture better, but just like I don't know, Arab people are more beautiful. I think you would have some weird looking grandkids.
No, but Iranians can be okay looking because a lot of them are Aryan, especially like the Persians.
Mm.
Iran means Aryan. Same as Ireland. Ireland is Aryan land.
Really?
Ireland, yeah. It means Aryan land, yeah. So does Iran.
Well, listen, this is a no-brainer. Why would you tell me why you would pick the Mexican over the Jew? Tell me why.
This is very dicey. If you really want us to go on YouTube, but yeah, okay, go on. If you can say it nicely.
Wait, what's your answer, Michi?
I want Brendan to explain his reasoning.
I don't know. And be YouTube friendly. Shit. How would I put it?
It's just because you don't like them personally, and because they're like they're destabilizing.
Yeah, no, it's more.
They're destabilizing Western civilization as we speak. But they will definitely take care of your daughter. They will definitely take care of your daughter. No, but they will. I feel
she would be more lost and part of something that's the reverse of what she should be.
So you want these deformed mongoloid, like half Mexican grandchildren that you're going to have to support for your whole life?
I think that my genes are strong enough they'd come out with some kind of like tanned Roman Sicilian type person that would be strong and smart. So fuck you.
Love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I have no idea what Michi's reasoning is.
Her fucking questions are absolute showstoppers. You have to give her that.
That's a brilliant question.
If you want a scandalous question, Jesus, we should do this more often. Actually, although I don't know where we're going to fucking put the thing. I don't like post it. It may just be us that knows about it. nothing else.
No, it's got to. Listen, I knew a guy. I knew a girl who dated a Moroccan, and like I am racist and everything, but like the dude was like really jacked. He was really good to her. He was a DJ and like I don't know if you know, but like the nightclub scene, I think in Tangier or one of the big cities there, Marrakesh, I think it is. It's like one of the biggest hotspots in the world for nightclubs, and he was a DJ there. So he made a lot of money. And when she would go visit him, he would like take her like four-wheeling in the Sahara Desert and like dune buggies and stuff.
Yeah, so, like, I actually would love to visit Morocco. It looks
he was cool. He was cool. He was cool, and he was a good boyfriend.
I knew a lot of Moroccans actually where I lived in France, and they were, I don't know. Yeah, they were all a little bit like more civilized than other Arab nations. Like.
Yeah, there's a big difference between them for sure.
And they were like fair skinned, and they were all actually quite beautiful. Arabs really are quite good looking, generally.
Well, you think that because you're a woman, but like they're not.
Well, the girls are too. I think the girls.
Yeah, the women are.
Oh my God! Am I the only real racist person in this chat? Like, I can't be attracted to a woman who isn't white.
I bet I knew some Moroccan girls that I bet you would be very
no shit. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, like,
I don't know.
Beautiful.
Maybe.
Like some of the most beautiful women I've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so that was a good one. I think Astral, it's your turn.
Well, it's such a bad question. It's such a bad follow-up question. But I wanted to. I wanted to ask about Michi. Michi's got to get up at 4:30 in the morning. So I think if Michi tells us why she gets up at 4:30 in the morning, that would be a good segue to my question.
Yes, Astro, you wanted me to talk about the mass that I'm going to. I mean, what do you want me to say? I'm going to a Rate mass.
Just tell us what it is. Tell us what it is.
I just said it. How much detail do you want me to get into here?
Just a little bit, What is it?
It is a mass to celebrate the Virgin Mary. And I think traditionally it would happen like every weekday during Advent. But now it only happens like once during Advent for most parishes in the US anyway. And it's a candlelit mass that takes place very early in the morning while it's still dark out, and the light of the candle represents the faith of the people, and how together the faith will light up a room. And just how powerful it is. And then as the sun comes up, you blow out your candle, and it's just a very beautiful ceremonial mass.
Yeah, sounds nice. Yeah, very nice.
So that's why I'm waking up really fucking early tomorrow.
So what time does it start that you have to get up that early?
It starts at 6 a.m., but it's the church that I go to is an hour away. So.
Oh, yeah.
Is it a Latin mass? It's a Latin mass.
It's a Latin mass, yeah. It was so beautiful last year.
And what time does it end?
It went on for like an hour and a half last year.
That's nice.
Well, listen, this is my question, and I understand that this question is a vast question that should.
Michi dropped out and Michi dropped out and in again. And are you there, Michi? She did something.
Oh, you are there.
You dropped out and in again, and you lost your what do you call it? Your picture.
Oh, weird.
It's okay. Yeah.
Whatever. I still see it. Huh.
No, I don't see it either. I don't see it either.
It doesn't matter as long as you're there. It's fine.
Okay.
So listen, my preamble to this question, I'm saying it in hopes that the three of us can get together again. I think we could put a lot of good content in them. So this could be this could be like the introduction to maybe hopefully a much more in-depth discussion another time. But all of us think that there are a lot of problems with modernity. And without getting into the problems with modernity, do you think a simple return to traditional Christianity can fix our problems and get us out of like the mess that we're in, like culturally, like with like the gay stuff and like the longhouse and whatever else you see? Do you think a return to traditional Christianity? If you were in a position that you could like help mobilize people to fix the problems that we have in modernity culturally, is one of the programs you would implement a return to traditional Christianity, or would you think that that wouldn't work?
I'll go first since I have a quick response. I mean, yeah, we've talked about this so much. It's so complicated. I do think it would be a good thing, but I don't think it's practical. Like, I don't think anyone would actually return to it. So it does seem like we need something new, but I don't know what that new thing could possibly be.
That's a great answer. What do you think, Brendan? Oh, I'm sorry. If there was more for you to say, I didn't. I thought that was it.
I'll probably have more to say, but go ahead.
I agree, more or less. Yeah. I don't know. I think something will change and something will happen. I think it's mostly the larger part of the church is fairly cooked, and the other churches, certainly Protestantism, is totally cooked. But I mean, there's a lot of people in it. I don't know if there's some way you could just wrestle them back to reality, get them away from the woke stuff. Maybe if they're already attending and they believe it, they're really crazy. I don't understand that kind of like Baptist, talking in tongues, crazy shit. I don't, but they seem to be really into it, and there's a lot of them. So maybe it's a big cult if you could like get the reins of it and get them doing something, get their values fixed. But I don't know that you can say what you would do ideally if you had total control of everything. It feels like things would change. The religion, some kind of new culty version of it would appear, and it had something about it that was hard and remained based and was immovable, and people would flock to it. And it could be a form of Christianity or whatever. Probably more likely that than just a paganism, which is I would be fine with. But
I love that part of your answer seems to repudiate what the trads say, because you're like,
which part?
The part where you said that, like, if the church is already officially embracing wokeness like rampantly across the world, like, what's the point? Like, what good would it do? Like, it's already like gone over to wokeness, But so Michi, it sounds like
Michi's church has.
Right. Well, yours is Latin,
but
right?
most of them have.
Yeah, but there's a lot of Latin masses in America, and they are growing because people are realizing. I mean, a lot of Catholics are just against Novus Ordo.
You're still you're still at the sort of behest of Pope Francis, so it was pretty bad. But I like in the Latin mass that I go to here, I remember there was an old Northern Irish guy, and he was great, and he would give little anti-feminism sermons in between the Latin, and he would call Francis an Egypt. He talked about how the Muslims are on a crusade against us, and like was good, but they got rid of him. He's gone. Last time I went, it was hopeless. It was like some young guy, and he was basically given like a corporate ad as a sermon. It was just so bad for like NGOs or something.
That's terrible.
Totally the opposite. I know the old guy was gone.
Jeez.
I know.
Well, you can find a lot of like very conservative traditional masses here. And yeah, like I was saying, I think Catholics have been put off by the Novus Ordo masses because they're just less special, and you can feel that. It's like a rushed mass that was supposed to be more convenient for modern time, but it's actually just like taken all of the beauty out of it. So
Francis, you have to admit Francis is a problem, and he's got hopefully. No, what do you think of him?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, they're trying to like get rid of Latin masses too.
Yeah. I'll tell you. Excuse me. You want to hear a story? When I was young, sorry, I used to hitchhike somewhat, I remember getting picked up once. I was by myself by this crazy old guy, and he was Catholic. He had a wooden crucifix like embedded in the dashboard of his van or whatever. And he picked me up, and he was ranting. Like, I still remember it. And this is a long time ago. I was probably, I don't know what, fucking 18 or 17 or something. Anyways, I still remember his story. He was like, yes, I had a dream, and I saw how the world's going to end, and it's going to start with an evil pope in the Vatican. That will be the beginning.
Oh, so God.
And then he said his conclusion was that it will end with giant rats coming out of the earth. I remember. Like,
wow.
Okay. Yeah.
Who are the giant rats?
Well, I don't know. Maybe they're coming.
I have no idea of who they
are.
We were talking about them earlier.
Oh, I love Michi. I love Michi. Michi, I didn't know you were this based. I mean, I knew you were based, but I didn't know you were this based. Yeah, I'm incredible. So hold on, I want to ask Michi a question. Michi, you were saying something. What do you remember what you were saying? I was just saying that the Latin masses are growing more and more because I go to them whenever I travel. I'll find one near wherever I am, and there's like a lot of young people at them, and they're completely packed. Okay. So it's cool to see. It gives me like a little bit of hope, but at the same time, it's just such a small fraction of people that are actually going. And yeah, so it's like it just shows me that people have a thirst for that and feel. I mean, I talk to a lot of people, even people who don't go to church, are like lacking spirituality and like feel an emptiness, obviously. Right. And for sure. Yeah, I think of people who were raised Catholic, it's like easier, obviously, to go back to that. Yeah. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, like trying to. It seems like completely. It seems too far gone to like talking to my friends who are atheist or agnostic or whatever. They're like they would never go to a mass, or it's just like so far beyond their perception.
They laugh at you. They think it's funny or something.
Yeah, some of them do. I mean, most of them are like, I don't know, open to it. So, like they're think it's cool that I go, but that's like where it ends. And a lot of them are into like, like Buddhism or something. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. Although Buddhism is kind of cool as well. I do like a bit of Buddhism.
It is cool, but yeah, if you grow up in Western Christian world, why would you be a Buddhist? It's like,
well, I don't know. There was certain links in originally. Excuse me. There was certain links, and there is a philosophical, theological link there way back. Mm-hmm. That's interesting in the East. Like in the old ways. Yeah. But yeah, they're not totally divorced. There are things you can learn from it, and still be Catholic. I think.
So Michi, those were all really great comments. Before I want to ask Michi another couple questions, but Brendan, you were raised Catholic, right? Irish Catholic.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Okay, so
yes,
Michi,
my father was an atheist. Though. Sorry, go on.
No, it's okay. I was raised Catholic. I went to church in Sunday school every single Sunday of my life until I was like 18. I remember I went to this party where I took like at least 2 hits of acid at like 11 o'clock at night, maybe even later, maybe even like midnight or 1 a.m. And I drank probably a 12-pack of beer. And I thought to myself, surely I won't have to go to church tomorrow. But no, my dad came and picked me up at the party. Everybody was still awake, on acid, beer everywhere. And like just walked in the house, and I just got up and went with him without a word and went to church.
Nice. Like a true Catholic.
No, and I was like having illicit sex with my girlfriend at like 15, and my dad caught us. And you know what he said?
Probably said, "Good job, son."
No, he said we should bring her to church. She seems like a nice girl.
Aww.
I know. I could go.
You didn't, did you?
No, but she was a French Canadian Catholic. She went to church every Sunday too. I met her at Catholic school. She went to the girls' version of the boys' Catholic school I went to. That's how we met.
Very good.
Almost every woman I've ever slept with was a Catholic. Almost every single one of them. But anyway, I digress.
Well, they are the biggest whores. That's for sure.
Yeah,
we are. We are.
Yeah, well, I would use a different word for them. I think Protestants are whores. Catholic women
well, they are a bit more. Yeah,
we'll come up with a word for what Catholic women are. We need a much nicer word than that. But listen, Michi, I want to ask you something.
Mm.
What is the attendance like at your church? Minus, like, I assume during Christmas when it swells to probably more attendees, but like about like when you go like during the year, like how many people are there, like more or less? Is it like empty? Is it sparse? I mean, you said you see a lot of young people. Like what's the...
Yeah, I was just saying it's like completely packed throughout the whole year.
All the time?
Yeah,
that's amazing.
It is. It's not a huge church, but they're even experiencing problems because they've grown so rapidly. They like write about the issues in their bulletin of the rapid growth and how they can't keep up with it. But yeah, it's packed year round. And how many people it's hard to say. I have such a poor guess of like how many it would be, but even so, they do 3 masses on Sunday morning, a 7, 9, and an 11 o'clock mass, and I've gone to all 3 of them, and all 3 of them are packed also. So
no, that answers my question. I'm not looking for a number.
Yeah,
that's perfect. And then here's my other question: what are the I don't think you used the word sermon. Like when they do English mass delivery, do they talk about conservative stuff? Do they talk about, are they like anti-abortion and anti-gay marriage and stuff, or are they like kind of middle of the road? Like what is the delivery like?
No, they're not middle of the road. They're hyper conservative, and it is the sermon. Yes, the rest of the mass is in Latin completely. All of the prayers, but yes, the sermon is given in English, and yeah, I don't know. It's they definitely have not adapted at all. Yeah, I don't know, very conservative. It depends. Sometimes they're just like, I like when they're just more like sweet, and they're never that great at the church I go to, unfortunately. But I like when they're just kind of more like philosophical and sweet and don't get like hyper political, but they do, and it's fun. It's fun to watch. It's refreshing to hear.
Nice. Well, that does sound nice. Well done.
I'm happy to hear all this. And I'm not I still consider myself like nominally a Catholic because I grew up that way. But I don't cleave to all of its, doctrine or whatever, and I don't go to mass. But that makes me happy to hear.
One thing I want to talk to you, I've kind of talked to both of you about it actually, because you both claim to be like pagan and Catholic, and I've argued that practicing Catholicism makes you more immersed, I think, in religion and spirituality, because I force myself to go to church every week and like be in a room praying with a bunch of people, and it feels like, even if I've had a week of like complete debauchery and nonsense and I'm not feeling spiritual at all, I will go there and be like completely reset, it feels like, and it forces me to be in that space. And there have been like a few months when I've been very busy that I haven't been able to go, and I do find that I kind of lose my spirituality a bit just from not going and practicing more.
Yeah, so it's important. The ritual is most important. That's what Catholics see. What Catholics really think is the ritual is more important than the actual the doctrine, etc. The ritual is, and observing it, and that's right. You are right to do that, and you're correct. But it doesn't. You saying that because of paganism, like we say, we're Catholic pagans, so we would do the same thing probably. But while we're there, we wouldn't be listening to the Jesus story so much. At least I wouldn't. I always think of like the Odes of Horace and whatever, and I think of how, the same thing would be going on, except they'd be worshiping Jupiter. It'd be more or less the same thing otherwise, except for the story.
Mm-hmm.
I just think of it that way.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I'm not compelled by the Jesus story. To be
honest. I don't love everything about the Jesus story myself, but It's just, I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting because you have both said things against going to Catholic Church, but
no, against it. I would never say against it. Go against going. Did I say that? What did I say against going to the Catholic Church?
I'm just saying I don't go. I'm not saying I would discourage people. I just don't go.
I mean, I did stop going to the one here because it started to look like it was getting very cucked and stuff. I would try it again though. Yeah, but I'd be worried that it would. Last time it was so bad. Oh, it was really bad. I mean, wait till that happens.
I'm really surprised that you guys don't go or find something, considering the way both of you are.
Well, I would go if it wasn't. I mean, I will go again, but I don't go as a routine. No, maybe I should. I probably should. But you listen to me.
It's worth it.
Wait till you have 4 kids and you've got to get them packed up and out the door. One of them is under 3, or well, she's older now, but you know, I guess there's no excuse now.
Yeah,
you got to hold them in a church for over an hour. It's not easy.
Yeah,
drains your energy on.
But it's good for them too.
I know it is. I do want them to go. But then, like I said, the last time they went, it was so embarrassing. I was so like, we got to go.
Well, there must be multiple options. You live in the city.
This is the only place I know of that had the Latin Mass.
Well, it might be worth finding Novus Ordo that is better than. Because even I go to a Novus Ordo Mass when I can't make it an hour to the Latin one, and it still is much better than not going at all, I find.
Well, tomorrow is Saturday. I could maybe try on Sunday. Maybe. No, I'm sick. I'm not going anywhere. Fuck this.
Well, you're doing good.
Maybe next week.
Well, do you guys want a piece of somewhat related trivia?
Sure.
About the pagan thing and how Brendan said that like he would prefer the ritual to be like worshiping Jupiter, which I think I agree with. I would love that. Because the problem with being a pagan is that you have to practice and do your rituals by yourself. Unless you can find like-minded people, which I sort of have at times, but most of the time, if you go looking for it, they're either going to be far-flung or they're going to be like complete homosexual, like leftists. Because there's like, but anyway, the piece of trivia I was going to say is, the whole entire like chronology, for lack of a better word, of the Mass, how it plays out, like the kneeling, the sitting, the standing, like the different sections of when you do a song, and then when you listen to the oration from, they often will have either like a bishop or like a guest or somebody, and then the priest will get up and speak. That whole thing was derived from the ceremony of the Senate greeting the Roman emperor. So the Senate would have to like stand and clap and then sit and then kneel and then sing, all at these assigned times. And then all the people who get up before the priest would give these like speeches about how great the emperor is. And then the emperor would get up and give his address. And this all grew into be the Latin Mass, because the bishops who were in different like cities across the Roman Empire, and the deacons, they would be administering these masses in like, they weren't called masses though. They were just like these veneration of the emperor rituals. They would have to do them all over. So once the empire, quote unquote, collapsed, they just kept doing it, and it like turned into the Catholic Mass.
Well, the masses they would do that were something, I forget the word for it. It was something not far cry from Mass anyway. So that they would do to Jupiter were very similar. They'd have the altar and they give a sermon and they do all the singing and stuff. That was also, maybe it was derived from the Senate stuff as well, but their religious thing that we go to was very similar as well. But like Michi sees it, I think, as like she wants to go somewhere and be answerable to God and have her confess and have her morality straight in her mind, and that's all. Whether pagan or Christian, it doesn't make a difference. It's kind of the same. I would see it. I mean, if she's not, that's the main thing she wants to do. She wants to have the social ritual and have that connection, and that's
I
the best way to do it.
I agree, and I think that's great. I totally, 100%.
Yeah, and it is the most convenient way for any of us to do it, I guess. But when they get into the nitty gritty, when they give a sermon in between and they're ranting about Israel or something, that's when I get really angry.
Yeah.
And this kind of shit. Then it's like, oh fuck, I don't like that. All that stuff that I don't agree with.
Kill
it. Anyways.
Okay, good. Well,
that's a lot about the church. We talked a lot about the church there. Here, you guys have more questions or what?
I have one more, but what?
Okay.
Michi, you have one more, right?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, what's your? Because that was my question. So what's yours?
Oh shit! Okay, she's gonna brutalize this once more.
Okay, well, this one I already know where both of you stand, but I've wanted to talk to both of you about it. I wanted to talk about the value of Duchamp.
Oh my God, Michi, you have the best questions. You have the best. You won this round. You definitely had the best questions this round.
Well, again, I'm having trouble speaking because of the time. I just can't. It's something about this hour. I just cannot speak very well.
I think you should eschew ever remarking on this. I don't think there's any reason for you to ever remark on this.
Okay, so let's hear it, Astro. What do you think about Duchamp? I don't say.
Well, me and you already talked about this, and I know where you stand. Yeah.
Me? All right. Okay.
Yeah, on my show.
Okay. Right.
I think you. Here's the thing. You convinced me that he's a charlatan in a certain way. That being said, I still think he has value, great value, in the discussion of the history of Western art. I think he must be discussed, and I think that what he pulled off was very clever. And I think it's one of the only instances in which someone was trying to make a statement with his quote unquote art, in which it actually gives the art value because of the statement. And I think he gets a lot. I think Brendan does this. I think he gets a lot of flack because a whole, multiple generations, a century of charlatan, incompetent artists tried to mimic exactly what he did, which is to make a statement with a product that isn't really a work of art at all. And they're just doing the same thing he did over and over again. But it only works because he was the first one to do it. And then it turned into this fetish for artists, oh, I can't make art, but I can make a statement. But in the case of Duchamp, he was the first one to make this statement. And I think he was basically trolling the art world, in my opinion. And Brendan, as far as I understand it, Michi, I'm very interested in your opinion, but I think this is yet another one where me and Michi agree, I think. But yes. What I think is that, what was I going to say? That Duchamp was making, I forgot what I was going to say now. But go ahead. I think people like Brendan who get mad at him for what he did are actually falling victim to exactly what his intention was. I think, and I have to think that the French at the time got what he was doing. I don't actually think anyone was like, oh, look at this beautiful urinal. It's such a brilliant piece of work. And they didn't do the Greenberg art speak thing to it at all. I think they got what the message was. I think they understood what intention was behind it. And I also think it scandalized the art world because some people were probably highly offended, which is exactly what he was going for.
Yeah.
I mean, Brendan is probably highly irritated right now.
No, I'm not irritated. No, I'm not irritated. What would I say? Yeah, I don't think he's amazing or anything much good about him at all. No, and especially when I saw him lying, when I noticed him saying, I could paint like an impressionist since I was 14, and I researched this, and he had no such painting. He went in every TV show and every media thing he did saying, I could paint like an impressionist since I was 14, and there's no existing evidence of these amazing paintings. He was a liar. So I knew from the start that I did not like him, at least for that reason. But besides the fact he's got a gimmick trick, yes, they've all imitated and they've done the same thing over and over again since. So why love him for doing it the first time? You think it's rebellious or something amazing in it? All he did was, even then, you're buying into his gimmick that to completely divorce any proper work of art is a cross between your personal expression and the link to the tradition in art that you're working in and coming from, that's linked tribally to your culture, etc. If you break it completely like he did, which is fine, it's like, oh, look at my rebellious trick.
But he did it. He did it because it was a natural.
Okay, go on. He was what?
It was just the natural conclusion of where things had gone.
Exactly.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think
he broke it. I don't think he broke it. I think he's saying it is broken.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. There was a vibe. That's the era of like Art Nouveau and many excellent, vibrant, wonderful art movements that completely got subsumed by the likes of him and Picasso and those other guys. There was many excellent movements going on simultaneously. You may not think so. You may think it's all Victorian realism and it's all very dry and hopeless, but no.
No, I agree with you on this. I agree with you on this.
So you cannot divorce complete. If you want to be an artist, you cannot exist solely on self-expression and think you're doing it perfectly and greatly. This is the big delusion. And you know, you can make a choice about it. You can do that if you want, and you have what we have, which is endless shock. It's not even shock value anymore because it's so tired and banal, but you know, it's this endless cycle of supposed shock value. Look at me, I'm doing what I want, and I fucking painted my balls fuchsia. I'm naked, look at me. Fucking idiots. I remember this in art school. I remember literally seeing kids, like young girls. I remember one, she was in the hall. What did she do? She like spread some crap on her arm. She was topless, and she spread some like crap on her armpits. She's like, I'm doing this to represent the fact that I can't fly.
Oh my god, that's
cheesy bullshit.
That's horrible.
Yeah, but that's not what we're defending.
No, we're not defending
no,
that.
That whole mindset derives from that.
But we don't care about what it derives. What derived from him.
But I do. Just... If he didn't get away with it, you wouldn't have that. And you may have a dry recycling culture without, you know, some silly "I'm so rebellious" avant-garde bullshit. But at least it would be somewhat intact, and I'm sure there would be self-expression and new things emerging through it. When you go into the world he inhabits of total nothing but self-expression and rebelliousness, it doesn't open up the doors you think it does. It traps you, I think.
I mean, we all agree on that, I think. But
you do? Okay, then what's like about
that? I think we would have gotten to this point regardless. I think, like I was saying before, I think he was just making the comment that this was what was happening.
We would have got to this point regardless.
Yeah.
Well,
regardless
maybe.
of him and that.
Why do you think that?
I think just because the way that culture is and how like everything is kind of like that.
I mean, maybe it's possible, but I don't think that's a guarantee either. But I mean, either way, I don't see any reason to like him. I don't like his art. He was a liar. I see nothing to admire about him at all. No, I do not agree.
Well, Michi, go ahead. Pontificate on Duchamp. I mean, I get your point, but do you have more to say? I want to hear you respond to Brendan and stuff.
I don't really have a ton to say on it. I kind of already said it. I just have a few points.
What was the point then?
Well, okay, but so Michi, what do you
because
think?
he was inevitable. That's your point.
Yeah, I think he was just making a comment on what was happening and what was about to happen before it did, and so it was kind of clever in its own way.
When you see him lying and you see his shitty artwork, I think, like if you look at the videos where he's saying how well he could paint, and then try to find these videos, find these paintings.
Well, is it possible that they just aren't online?
You know, you think they would be somewhere quite visible, considering he's the hero of the modernism and the age we live in. He should be, you know, you would think it would be readily to hand. I would think, you know.
Well, hold on. He could have
a modernist hero.
He could have been just lying to lie, but it also could have been part of his whole act. It could have just been part of his act.
Well, you can go into that world and you can think it's okay. Like you can go into that world and you can think, okay, that's all right. Like what's the one, the guy descending the staircase? Was that him? Who did that one? The Cubist one thing. Or like I can't remember.
I know. There was an artist descending a staircase.
There's one or two he did that was maybe almost okay.
It was Duchamp.
Yeah.
It was Duchamp. Yes.
Well, there was a couple he did maybe that were almost okay or whatever, but overall, I would see no reason to celebrate him. No, considering how bad things are. If you like, that's the choice you have.
But you're not celebrating the work in the same way that you celebrate a painting that somebody else did. That's not what you're doing. You're not celebrating. Well, I want to ask Michi, why don't you talk about what you think he's doing with any one of his pieces that you want? The urinal, any of his ready-mades? Like, what do you think he's doing? Like, what is your impression of it or interpretation of it?
Well, I already said it. What do you mean?
Talk about one of the pieces. Like, what do you think about the piece where he put the thing in the toilet and
the thing in the toilet?
No,
the urinal into the art
gallery. Well, I actually thought I at the time when I first saw it, I think I was in art school and learning about it, and I was like, I interested by it. Because I thought of what it meant culturally. And
what do you mean culturally? It means like the ultimate rebellion, or like.
Well, hang on, let her like say her piece. That's okay. It's okay.
Sorry. Okay.
I just mentioned this to Astral the other day, how it kind of reminded me of like the God is dead thing from Nietzsche. It's like, yeah, he's kind of saying that like traditional art is dead, and that this is where we are. And it did, I don't know, yeah, when I saw it, it made me think about like, yeah, what it meant. And I did think it was kind of intriguing. Normally when I see art like that, it's like, this is just a bunch of crap. Like, what is this? But yeah, that was kind of like my first exposure to him and that movement. So yeah, I don't know.
So you think traditional art died then?
Yeah. I mean, it did.
Well, if that's true, then all art died, because there's no art really. I don't think.
No. What do you mean? There's no art now. Yes.
Yeah, there's no. If art isn't working in the, just like we have no real culture and we're just kind of dissipating away slowly, right? It's all part of that. We don't have an art and we don't have a culture, and the two are kind of synonymous.
Mm-hmm.
So everything's kind of like slowly dissolving in that little soup.
Yeah. So do you think if he didn't do that, someone else would have? Like,
he's not a key factor for me at all. It would be more Greenberg. Kandinsky was the first to do little squiggles and lines and funny.
Yeah, bubbles. But Kandinsky's really good though. You know.
No, I don't think he's good. I'm not impressed by his little squiggles and lines and bubbles.
I don't like him at all.
Well, if it wasn't for Greenberg,
I'm
Greenberg inventing the language.
Klimt. I'm thinking of Klimt.
Oh, Klimt is good.
Klimt's amazing.
That's a big difference.
Yeah. Look at Kandinsky.
I've been to Klimt's museum in Vienna. It's totally amazing.
Oh yeah, no, Kandinsky sucks. No,
he's awful.
No, he's terrible. Yeah, he's terrible.
Yeah, so he predates. Duchamp was just kind of like coming along, and I mean, it's fine if you want to get, I don't know.
It's so different than Kandinsky though, because it's like such a direct statement.
You mean that he was so bold about it? You could, yeah. I mean, if you want to celebrate him for being bold, I guess, but it's still like.
I just think it's interesting. I think what he did was genuinely intriguing and has value, even though I don't like it and I don't like where we are. But you said that you think that had an influence on what people did. I mean, yeah, it influenced people after him. But do you not think that someone else would not have done that, or that we would not still end up in the same place?
Probably,
that we are?
Yeah. No, that probably no. Yeah, it's nothing. Yeah, because he's not a major player at all. It's more the art critics and the other people. Yeah, it's not his fault. Yeah. But I don't like him for lying. I don't believe he could paint like an impressionist.
Well, you don't know that for sure. They might just not be.
Well, I'm pretty sure. I looked high and low. You look and you show me one painting that, I mean, you think there'd be one somewhere you could readily find if he's going to rant like that. Because I didn't see it. I didn't see him showing any kind of like, so I don't like people that lie like that. That's for sure.
He might not be lying though. He might just not think that people would want to see that, because that's not what he's known for.
Well,
you don't know.
It's got to be out there somewhere then. Well, then have a look and show me, Michi. Find it and show me. Because I don't
know if it's findable, but I'm just saying that doesn't mean they don't exist.
Yeah, but it's unlikely, because it would be someone there, and they'd be proud to show it because they want to defend on it.
You don't enjoy a Duchamp piece in the same way you aesthetically enjoy and connect with a Sublime for a fucking painting by, whoever, Da Vinci or somebody. It's a totally different thing. And I wonder if that's part of the reason why Brendan's so resistant to it. I mean, Michi, have you seen any ready-mades in person? Did you see him in person anywhere?
I'm trying to remember if I have.
Hang on, I'll be right back in 1 minute.
I'm not sure. I can't remember if I have. But yeah, I mean, obviously it doesn't have the same impact as like a traditional work would. But it's not even the same thing. Yeah, to me it's just like a comment. That's why I likened it to the Nietzsche thing, because it's more like, yeah, like he's making a statement. It's not itself really art. But it's like, I don't know. I just think it's clever. It's a clever way to do it.
Yeah, and I agree with you, like, about the whole God is dead thing. I think that's what he's doing. But I think what he's saying is that the mass production of commodities is killing the work of art. Because now you can just mass reproduce any work of art that you want. And it doesn't have this, like, aura to it. It's no longer this, like, rarefied thing that you have to travel to go see, and there's only one of them. You can put them everywhere. And seeing some of Duchamp's ready-mades in person were some of the most impactful experiences I've ever had, like viewing art. And it had nothing to do with why with like the aesthetic value of it. It doesn't have aesthetic value. But there was one piece where there was a snow shovel suspended from the ceiling, and I feel like the typical person.
It's such crap. But sorry, continue.
Well, I feel like the typical person is going to be like, oh,
you're still talking about Duchamp or what?
Yeah, they're going to try to like interpret it in a certain way and say it means this or that or whatever. But what I think it was like a guillotine or a sword of Damocles hanging over the art world, like this low culture.
It's more to do with it's more to do with industrialization than it has to do with anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Ooh, I get it.
Yeah.
So I know. Sorry, continue.
You can say painting
became obsolete. There was some good painters at the time, like Godwin.
That's basically it. I finished.
I just want to, Brendan, you can't see any value or anything interesting in what he did at all. You just are completely write him off because he was a part of this movement.
I don't like anything he ever did, and
but you can't even admit that it's interesting and that there is like some value to it.
What? No, I don't see. I honestly don't see it. I really don't like interesting.
I can't believe that. I'm quite shocked.
Why is that? What? How is it supposed to be interesting?
For everything we just said. I mean, he was literally just making like a comment on what was happening and like what was inevitable.
I'm not impressed by comments. I'm impressed by like skill. And if you're going to do a visual art and be a painter, I'm not impressed by your little comment, especially if you do a slapdash little thing and like a found object or something. I'm not impressed by your comment. By anyone just whose whole thing is to make a comment. Oh, look at my comment on society. Overall, that's not really the point. Like that's what I would think. If you had a cohesive culture with an art working in unison with it, it wouldn't be about that per se.
But it's not his fault that we were led here, and that this is where things went.
Yeah,
and it's clever that he.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah,
and you can say he's blameless, but I still don't see anything to admire him. No, I don't have any admiration for him at all. Nothing really. And he's not even the first to do the shocking thing. He just did it he got more famous for it, I guess. It wouldn't be the first or the most shocking.
But Michi's saying that his work is just an observation of something that was already happening. I mean, I personally think it's ridiculous to blame all this stuff on him.
If he wanted to do that, I would rather he wrote a treatise or something than did some pretended to be a painter.
No one would care about that.
Yeah, you're right.
He got the message across in a way that he knew would, and that's why it was clever.
What message did he get across? He got away with something, and he scandalized it, and he opened the doors for others to do the same ever since, in a most boring, continual way fashion.
Okay, so do either of you? I mean, how did he even get to have his piece put in the whatever he put it in the salon or the show or whatever, I don't know what to call it, where he displayed the urinal? I mean, why did they even ask him if he didn't have skill already? They must have known that he had some sort of skill in order to have him get a piece in there, and then he submitted the urinal. So how did
I don't know if it was about skill or again if it was just oh, this is actually quite intriguing, what he's saying.
No, but they didn't know he was going to put the urinal there. Did they? Did he submit it and they accepted it and said yes?
I'm not sure what happened. I don't know.
Yeah. You guys love that. And it's fine. You guys should talk about that.
Okay, fine. Fine.
I don't care.
You're a stubborn old man.
Yes, he is very obstinate. But it's
no. I really don't. I'm not into it. I don't agree.
I'm not saying I like it or that I'm happy that any of this is happening. It's a complete misery. It's absolutely depressing. But I still think that he has value for doing what he did because it's clever.
Clever. Well, that's fine. You can take that. That's all right.
All right, fine. Well, Brendan,
I have 3 more stupid fucking questions.
Well, how much time do you have, Brendan? Just 20 more minutes?
I don't know, but it's so long. And then I didn't all that talk there. I was like, oh.
You have to put this up. This is one of the greatest pieces of content to ever be produced from the sphere.
Well, I wasn't into that last bit of content. I don't want to be putting out the defenses of Duchamp, to be honest. It's not my scene. You guys
but why? Because it's interesting to have a different insight, especially from people I believe in traditional art, much like you. But I still.
That's fine if you want. I will, but no, I wouldn't.
Grumpy man.
I'm not a grumpy old man. I told you, I don't. I'm really not. What if I pick someone that you are not impressed with, and I insist you must be impressed by him? Why are you? You're grumpy. What's wrong with you? I'm not impressed by anything he did, or any of his ideas, or any of it at all. And especially being a liar.
I would be open to it. I'm never closed to a perspective for anyone.
Stop. Yeah, but you would be, you wouldn't be like open to being. I don't think you. Come on. Let's think of somebody then. Who's somebody?
I would be open to. I mean, because he was so significant. I mean, it's not just like some.
He wasn't. He's only
asshole
significant
that
because
came
of the time.
later.
And like all the data is. It was only significant because of the time. It was after World War I, and the whole scene, and that's when it really like was kicking off, and everything that happened ever since. Oh fuck. But I don't know. Yeah, just the fact that he got famous for it and he got away with something. No, I don't see what's to admire about him at all.
Because it was an interesting comment that he made, much like what Nietzsche said, God is dead.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I guess that's why I said you should write a treatise then. It's not, maybe no one would read it, but that's a different excuse than thinking that what he's done is somehow significant, because he should be doing paintings in an art gallery.
It is significant because look what he did. People talked about it. It made...
He did a shock value. He made a mockery of the gallery. He did a shock value thing regarding painting that
people have done ever since in a stupid ass way, like a silly, active, pointless rebellion that totally defies, if he had tried to do that in the era of Da Vinci or any of the others, I mean, he would have been maybe killed or maybe burned at the stake, or I don't know.
Well, it wouldn't have made sense then. That's the point. It wouldn't have made sense then.
But maybe I'm sure there was Egypts trying to do something similar all throughout that, where they were somehow kept out by the system as an obviously a bad idea. But maybe you can say
with technology that was inevitable, but still nothing to admire about him. No, I would admire more the likes of people who really push it. If you want to admire your enemy for being clever, I would admire other people ahead of him. I don't think he was that smart. The only thing he ever did I admired is that staircase one. That wasn't too bad.
Yeah, but you're still talking about it aesthetically, though. You don't like the fact. You don't like the fact that it's like it's conceptual and then it's like a statement. That's why you don't like it, which is fine.
No, I don't. Every proper piece of art has to be that plus a link to the tradition of where it comes from, or you're not really doing it. It can't be just that on its own. Then it's nothing. It's a void. You have to have a balance between following your tradition and making art that is in line with your ancestors and your culture, even though you want to do something new and exciting. If you completely break it and you just make a mockery of the whole thing with some silly fucking found object bullshit, it's all very, interesting, I guess, in a childish way, but I'm not impressed with it, no.
Well, I don't think anybody's impressed with it. I don't think it's trying to be impressive.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
All right. Well.
Okay, I got 3 more little questions.
All right. Well, you can ask me, and then when Michi comes back, we'll ask it to her too.
Do you have any more, or is that the end of it?
I did have one, but it's like we've gone on so long, and it's such a grand topic. You asked.
We have
first.
20 minutes. We have another 20 minutes. Dude, you go on. You can do it.
No.
Mine are stupid.
Yours. Ask it.
Okay. Do you think the universe is infinite, or that it has a beginning and an end?
That's a fantastic question. I don't.
It's more exciting than talking about fucking Duchamp.
I don't really know how to answer that question.
Well, it's one or the other. It's a yes/no type question.
I think it's infinite in the sense that it like loops back around on itself, and that there is no like outside the universe. I don't think there's an outside of the universe. Like it seems like it's pretty definitively been proven that it's like constantly expanding. See, there's a bunch of stuff that like physicists seem to think are like definitively proven. So there's this argument about, I think it's cosmic background radiation, that helps them date when the Big Bang was. And they're able to like basically show that there was a Big Bang at a certain time, that everything has been like expanding since then. And if you like watch a thing on like how it works, it's like pretty convincing that the distance between different bodies in space are growing at like a certain rate. You can do a mathematical calculation to like figure out how old the universe is. And then they also say that the universe.
But growing within what? Growing within what? Let's say, like, so you say there's nothing outside of it, and how can this thing like be born and exist and grow without anything outside of its boundaries? What is it growing against?
Well, that's the
I know
thing.
that I know they say mathematically you don't have to worry about these things, but I don't know that I trust them in that regard. It goes against a certain common sense kind of concept of things. No?
Well, this is what I was about. Well, ask me a question.
I'll ask. Okay, Michi, this is one of my questions. Do you think
I already think I'm not going to have an answer to this based on what I heard.
Why? You will. You will. You know, it's simple. It's simple. You will. Do you think the universe is infinite or that it has a beginning and an end?
You know, I was thinking about that the other day.
Were you? Good girl. What's the answer?
I have no idea, but
well, from your opinion, it's not like the answer.
I don't really have a good one. I've felt both ways about it, but I think I would say it's infinite.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay, well, that's what I said. So we all agree that it's infinite, but I don't know.
I thought you said you believed it's expanding and that it had a beginning, right?
Yeah, no? But I also said that it like folds back into itself, so it doesn't have a beginning or an end. The universe is expanding. There's no question about that.
Well, I know, yeah. That's true. But only I would think that's got to designate there's something outside of it that it is growing against.
No, but the argument is that at the like massive levels, like physics, when you talk about like the minuscule level, like the most minuscule level possible, and the most like largest level possible, like the size of the universe, that common sense and like regular math like breaks down, and you can't think of these.
That's
things.
very convenient for them to say, but you go on. Yeah, I know. I've heard all these things. But you know, I know. But like I always think of it like if it has a beginning. I mean, okay. So you think it's infinite but growing because it falls back on itself, and then
it doesn't have to be static for it to be infinite.
It doesn't have to be static for it to be infinite. No, right? I would agree with that. Yeah. I mean,
what if
I agree as though I know the answer, but I'm just with my little shitty opinion. Yes, I agree.
Brendan, you don't know the answer to this.
I mean,
claim to know the answer. Even when you guys are harassing me about Duchamp, I don't say I know all the answers. You're asking me my opinion. You're getting cranky with me because you don't know.
I think you should know. That's the Duchamp thing is the only thing that of your opinions. But I'm sad that you don't know the answer to this for sure, for certain.
To this? Well, who knows?
I've lost respect.
Why you don't know? You're sad. I don't know the God, the universe, the ultimate question.
Well, I do happen to be kidding, but yes.
If it like so, it seems to me either it has a beginning and an end, or it doesn't. But if it has a beginning and an end, then one could possibly be beyond those points. And if it doesn't have anything beyond those points, then why would it begin in the first place?
Can I mention something really important?
Yes, but Brendan's annoying me though.
Earlier, I made a vanilla bean lemon drop, and it was absolutely delicious.
Is that what you just went and did?
No, I just made something simple. But earlier, it was just like, I use like fresh vanilla bean and just fresh lemon juice, vodka, and agave. It was fucking awesome.
That's nice.
When are you gonna make me one?
Never. I will never be in your presence ever, because now I know that you punch.
You might attack you with a knife or something.
We will never meet, Astral. I'm sorry.
I wonder how many men have heard those exact words. We will never meet.
Yeah, a lot.
I was hoping Michi forgot that I said that about punching a woman.
So what was annoying you? What way was I annoying you? Tell me quick.
Because think about it. Why can't it just no, Michi, stop.
That's the way both of you communicate. Brendan's like, tell me quick. He's so grumpy. Astral's like,
grumpy. I am fucking sick as a dog. I'm fucking sick as a dog, and it's 1:50 in the morning. You cunt. You sitting there nice and having a nice time at 8 p.m. It's always the fucking same. You fucking sons of bitches.
Well, I'm usually asleep by now, so whatever.
That's true. You can fall asleep. No, I'm only kidding. I'm fine. I feel fine. Go on.
Well, I hope this is the first of many. But if you think about it, I think it's an oversimplistic, and I don't really think it's like a refute to say that, like, what is it expanding into? What if it's a closed circuit? Like, Michi, you remember we were talking about
a closed circuit implies something outside of it, like there's a boundary and something beyond it, which is fine. I think maybe there is, but like it doesn't imply like a self-contained eternal thing somehow. That is like
why does something have to be outside it? Why does something have to be outside it?
If it has a boundary, then there's one side and then another side.
but I just said I just said that I think it's
the other side falls back in on itself.
I'm saying I think it's infinite. So why can't there be no outside?
Okay, yeah, right, possibly. So it's expanding in infinity.
Infinitely into nothingness, into itself.
See, the thing that's funny is one of these things is true, and it's got to be true. Well, it's got to be one or the other, and it has to be the case.
Well, you know what's crazy to me? This is the kind of thing that baffles me. Like, I agree with it, and it's really interesting. Because one of the things is true, and it has to be the case, and we'll never know. Another thing that has a definitive yes or no answer that we'll never know is if there's other life in the universe. It seems like there must be, right? It seems like there must be.
But then where is it?
How can we ever know?
Possibly there's not, which makes us even more precious and important. Oh, Michi.
Yeah. I remember just like starting to learn about this stuff or think about it when I was younger. And being so freaked out that we just have no idea.
Yeah, no,
and that like there's, I mean, it's just crazy how much we really don't know. Like most things, we just don't really know. Which I guess it's beautiful in a way, but yeah,
that's
we'll never properly understand
the Catholic mystery, right? Not knowing.
Yeah.
That's the whole problem with like atheism.
That's why you show veneration. You have to show veneration to the grand mystery, which he does by going to mass, and we do in our way. You must show veneration.
Yeah, that's well said. That's well said.
I think that's important. Okay, so that's fine. We can only go so far with that question. Nobody knows that shit. So I got 2 more questions, then we'll wrap it up.
Well, for the listener, if he posts this, I propose that the universe is like a Mobius strip. But go on.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe. And maybe that makes sense in a certain way. Yeah, it's difficult. But anyways, that's your point. I asked you and you said, so that's good. So, okay, both of you, what are you most scared of more than anything else? This is kind of personal, but I thought it would be a good shocking question. More than anything else, what are you most scared of more than anything else, and what is the greatest form of fear?
Ooh.
Now, don't answer with your ultimate personal question that's going to make you be upset about saying it, if you don't want to.
Do you already know mine, Brendan?
Well, maybe there might be some greater fear. I don't know. You know, think of the ultimate fear.
Yeah.
Why? What did you have in mind, Michi? Was there something specific that Brendan knows, or?
I mean, you know it too.
Well,
no, it wasn't my intention to try and draw that out of you. I didn't mean that. So maybe this is a stupid question.
I don't actually.
I don't care.
I don't actually.
Just pick something else.
I don't actually know what she's talking about.
It wasn't. I didn't want to.
I don't. Astral knows anyway. It's fine.
I don't.
Doesn't matter.
I don't actually.
We've talked about it in great depth.
All right. Well, okay. Well, if
that's pick your other great fear, then just pick your other great fear. Because there's no point to it. Pick another one. There's got to be another one.
I have to think about it for a second. Astral, if you want to go first.
Astral, what's yours?
Well, I have 2 great fears, and I have to admit that while both could be fertile ground for conversation, they're both rather banal and trite and pedestrian.
Ooh.
That's fine.
Okay.
Well, I did answer earlier that I'd rather be killed than have Brendan anally me. So being anally penetrated by
That's what?
A man's yes, it's probably my greatest fear. My greatest material fear. I'm terrified of it. I am the living embodiment of homophobia.
You're terrified of it? Does that actually like plague you? Because it's not a very realistic.
It's not like you're at risk of me ripping you.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I can't say that word, can I? Shit.
Oh man,
that's another one.
We've already said it like
I really
20
have to go.
times, so it's too late.
No, but you know, my other answer is like somewhat banal. It's just the fear of certainty that you're alone in the universe, no matter what you do. And I've basically come to the conclusion that I am alone in the universe, no matter what I do, and that most of my life is just an attempt to distract myself from it. And fortunately, I have been able to do that effectively for the most part. But I would say that is my greatest fear, of being alone in the universe, and nothing has allayed that fear, and I've done everything.
Well, that's mine too. That's why we're friends. That's what I was thinking of.
That's what you were. That's really what you were thinking.
You guys don't feel connected to the world around you at all, and other things and people. You don't feel the connection.
No.
Really?
I
don't really.
Sometimes, but yeah, no, that's the thing. It plagues me like daily.
Daily?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you both feel lonely and alone, disconnected, that the world, universe doesn't understand you, and you can't link to it as the way you would want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, that's sort of true, but I sort of, if there's some way to distract yourself and not think about that, you will kind of feel connected to it, I think.
You're right. You're right. I go long periods of time without feeling this dread.
It's merely to one of those things you need to not think about somehow and distract yourself.
No, you're right. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
It's like almost impossible for me not to think about it.
Well, how many days a week do you think about it?
Every single day.
See, I only have it happen on days I don't speak to Michi.
Every single day. You gotta find a way around it. There's got to be an easy way around it.
I mean, I'm so busy. Like, I'm always doing things. It's not like I'm just like sitting around. Although I guess maybe being isolated in my studio, I have a lot of time to think. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't even matter. I can be hanging out with people that I really love and get along with very well, and I still feel like.
Is it happening right now?
Do you mean in the moment? Do you mean in the moment, Mitri?
In the moment, yeah. I'll be like happy, but then like in between, yeah, I don't know. I'll still feel it. It just doesn't go away.
You know what's really interesting? I was a generally very happy person, and I wasn't plagued really by any emotional or mental problems for like most of my life. But even when I was like kind of like a blind, dumb idiot who was like really, really excited about the world, I would be like gripped by these moments of like intense loneliness where I was like, you know, like even when I was like 20 years old, when I was like at the most like exuberant about life, like it would just happen randomly.
Yeah, we're very similar in that way because I also, I don't know, I've always been like really optimistic in many ways and like, I don't know, like found a lot of meaning in a lot of ways in my life, but that, yeah, it's just always kind of been there a little bit. But as I've gotten older, it's just gotten worse and worse. But I imagine, you know, being single doesn't help that.
Yeah, I mean,
not having kids.
Yeah, I got to tell you that stuff isn't really a fix. I think you have to get right with God. I think it's the only way.
Yeah, it's true. It does really help.
Because,
excuse me, sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, those things don't actually fix the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't know. You guys got to do whatever you got to do, I guess. But
I think it's interesting that Brendan has not experienced this.
Well, do most people experience this? I don't.
No, I don't think they do. I'm getting the impression.
They don't.
I have no problem being. I have no problem being alone. I have to seek out ways to be alone. It's hard.
I mean, it's not even that I don't mind. Like, I like being alone. It's just that if I felt connected to other people when I was around them, I could go away and be alone and feel more at peace. But it's just like, no matter what, whether I'm with people or whether I'm not, I just feel like, holy shit, like this isn't good. Yeah, completely disconnected, no matter what. So it's not even about just being like physically alone. It's just, it's way deeper than that.
Yeah, I feel it too. And I get the impression that like most people like don't feel that. Like normies don't feel that, you know?
You know what I've wondered is, why do we feel that? I don't know many people who feel that way. You're one of my only friends, I think, that gets that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there are people who feel it that don't admit it, or they're not in touch with it, or they don't realize what it is. And me and you like recognize it for what it is. I think that's part of it anyway. And we don't like cover it up with like drugs or alcohol. We compensate for it, but we don't like completely obliviate our minds to it. We feel it. And I think that's like the artist tendency. I think the people who are driven to make art and create feel that and like feed it and like use it as a way to drive their creativity, to like express
I think
it.
you need to find a way to feel connected to things, though, and to the world in general, not just people, just in general. But there must be a way to feel a bit more. I don't know. It feels like that maybe is a...
I've felt better in my life, like when I was in a relationship, a long-term relationship, living with a boyfriend, and we had a very nice relationship and a very nice life, and I was in school, and I don't know, I had a lot of going on, and it was a very spiritual time, and I felt there was a lot of meaning in my life, and I felt less that way, but it was still there, and it's almost worse. This is so bad. It's almost worse when you start getting close to people and you realize that they're just not going to do it. It's like they're not going to fulfill that. And there's like I feel like I'm constantly just looking for someone to like understand me, and it just never happens. It's like, holy shit.
No, you have to give up on that.
I know.
I don't do that. I've never really done that.
I don't know about that. But
then how do you connect? How do you connect?
You just have to keep looking until you don't feel that weird thing. I mean, you did it before, right? Although you still had a problem in the end, but still, you can do it again. You can do it again. I know it's hard. It's hard for everybody. There's always some fucking problem.
Especially when you're like not a normal person at all.
It makes it harder. Yes, it does.
Yeah,
it does make it harder. Mine was nothing at all to do so depressing and personal.
We're keeping it real and honest.
Well,
unlike you.
The only reason I asked the question is because I was watching one of those M.R. James ghost stories things. I don't know if you probably don't get them there, but there's these old BBC things they'll play here. You know M.R. James, he's a famous ghost story writer. And they have ghost stories for Christmas. These old BBC shows, you can watch them. And they're excellent. And they're actually quite scary. And the main reason they're scary is, like, as they say, he's got a sort of cranky scholarship about him. But then he, like, ultimately the scare in the end is always that something impossible is happening. And it reminded me of, like, say when I was freaked out on acid or whatever, and I was hallucinating, I would be like, the most scary part would be like, I'd be watching something and I'd realize what I'm seeing is impossible. And like, it defies all the laws of reality that I've been taught. And there'd be like a great horror in that. I'd be like, oh, how can this be happening? Like, you know, this defiance of reality would scare me or whatever. And I remember afterwards having dreams. For a long time, I had dreams that I would see a crazy parade, a parade of craziness outside my window. And I'd be watching it for a while. And then I'd suddenly realize, wait, that's impossible. There'd be like a giant wicker swan floating off over the ground or something, some stupid thing that was impossible. And I'd be like, wait a minute, that's not possible. And then I'd freak out, like, am I awake? And am I dreaming? And I couldn't tell the difference, like this kind of thing. So
cool
it's a silly ultimate fear.
That's a horrible feeling. I felt that way on mushrooms once. That, yeah, just like there were so many bizarre creatures and things around me. It was like complete chaos. And it was like, oh God, yeah, like I'm never going to return from this. Like,
yeah, when you feel reality is breaking, there's a horror. There's a horror. Your reality is breaking. It's like, what?
Yep.
There's a great horror in there. Okay, so look, I got one more stupid ass question. You ready?
Yeah.
Yep. Better be really good.
It's really stupid. It's really stupid. It's like the last thing that came to my mind right before the thing. Should women be allowed to go to university? Meet you, what do you think?
I think well, I think that well, geez, in today's world, like, it's with the way things are now, it's like it would be crazy if they could not. But I also think, yeah, I mean, like in an ideal world, most of them would not. I think most of them would not. I don't think there's much point. I don't even think there's much point for most people to go. Like,
That's true.
I think a lot of people, even men, would do better going into like some trade school or something.
Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like most of it's kind of a joke. And then there are like, the most elite intellectuals would probably do well going to university. But yeah, if we were to go with what nature says, women would learn.
Having those babies.
Yeah, would learn about that, and there's not much point. But today you can't even say that it's just like we're so far past that. Like, it's ridiculous now.
I know.
And there are things like I feel lucky with what I do for work that it will be something I can do when I have kids at home. So for women to find something like that, I think is a smart option.
Yeah, that is good. Yeah.
And also, I don't, with the way that the economy is and everything, it's just like it's hard to afford a family if both mom and dad are not working. So like it makes sense for a woman to go to school and have a degree and get a good job. Like, I don't know. It is more practical now, even if it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, that's good. That is a good answer. Very reasonable. Very nice. Astral, what do you think? Are you there?
Yeah, I almost. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I almost want to say I have nothing to add. That's like exactly what I think.
Yeah, I think. Do you have something to add? Go on if you do.
I mean, basically, I don't even know what to say that isn't a reiteration of what Michi said. It's like, of course, no, I don't think women should go to college. It doesn't make any sense. There's no reason for it. They don't need it to do like certain things, except for certain feminine things, except for like high class women who would go to learn how to like make art, or some gifted woman who's from the low class that we send to school to train as like a top quality courtesan. But other than that, you would think, no, why would they? But at the same time, it's like you want all women today to go to school and like learn something, learn a trade, or learn how to make themselves employable.
Right. Yeah. Well, so it's an argument of how it should be versus how it is today, and how to survive and how to be today. So obviously, it's a silly question. You're not going to do that today. Just take them all out of university or any such thing.
Yeah, but when I think about ideal world, please take them out.
Well, for most of history, like I remember reading about Egyptian society and how it worked. I was very impressed with that because it lasted for thousands of years, many thousands of years. They had proper kingdoms and they were strong all throughout. Even when the leadership changed, their system did not really change, and it was like men went to the guilds. You should first of all have a guild system, as Michi was saying. There should be a trade system, which is all important, and the various trades are like for the different castes are important. So, but there's also social mobility. So like when a guy is born into a Freemasons family, but he shows exception at math, he could go to the prince's school and study along with Tutankhamun, whatever he needs, if he's truly exceptional. Yeah. But women invariably, as it needs to be, which this is the harsh thing that really in modern society people can't cope with, and I get in trouble for. They were taught at home to be mothers and housekeepers and how to run the house and tell the slaves what to do and fucking have kids and raise them at home and teach the kids what to do. And that was invariably through all those thousands of years what they were primarily taught. And if a woman was exceptional, she could find a way to be a doctor or something if she wanted to. But the system you kept in place trained them all to be mothers and to be homemakers. And you have to do that if you want your race to survive. It's a basic tenet of it, which is like totally lost in this feminism business. So it's a harsh fucking thing that just has to be done. As far as
that's why I consider myself like an accelerationist, because there's no point in trying to like say that you want to stop or reverse it. You just have to let it burn out, because it's basically like a negative feedback loop of like civilizational decline. It's like entropy. You know what I mean? And you can't stop it. There's nothing you can do.
That's true. So you could admire Duchamp for that reason. He's helping us accelerate. Yes, you could say that.
Yeah.
You could say that. Oh, you like that talk. Okay, fine. Duchamp is great. I love Duchamp.
This is reminding me, my closest friend is a liberal, and over the past like 10 years of me like becoming maybe more and more traditional, I remember talking to her about how like a while ago, talking to her about how women probably shouldn't vote. And just thinking that it was like so innocent what I was saying, which I still think it is.
Well, nobody should vote, first of all. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess.
There should be no voting. Democracy is a farce. But yeah, you're right. It's even stupider.
Yeah. But I just remember like saying that because it was like this natural conclusion that I had come to.
That's great. That's so excellent. And what would you do?
She was
that is very you. That is very you.
Shocked.
What did she do?
So put off by it. I think she was like quite afraid for a while because this was like the first point that I started like really thinking about all this stuff, and it was like I just kept getting deeper and deeper with it. So she was like probably a little bit afraid, but I don't know. She's been okay with it. She hasn't like, I don't know, had any like crazy reactions, but she definitely is like, oh God, like what are you getting into? But yeah, that just reminded me of that. I was hoping.
Well, that's interesting.
It's nice. You kept your friendship. It's nice. Nice. That's good. That's
yeah, she's a good lib. She's okay. Like how I feel about everything, and she knows, and I can talk to her about it.
Great. Sorry. So, listen. 10 past 2. I'm going to go, my friends, and leave you. Now, I don't want either of you to spiral into a state of despair because you're. I mean, you're not, because it's like early evening, and you're going to go talk to people and do some other fucking thing. But anyways, it's over. So
it was fun. It was fun. I really hope you put this out, man.
Excuse me. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of
rape in here.
There's a bit of problematic things. You're cutting people up with knives and shit. I mean, we'll see. Attacking people, attacking women.
I want to do this. Women. I want to do this at a time where I'm awake. I need to figure out why I can't. My mind is just like it turns off at like 8 p.m. I just like cannot think straight or articulate myself very well.
Is it too late?
Can I respond to that, Brendan, before we go?
Well, I usually get into bed at 8, and I'm like, my brain's like shutting down. But
okay, right. Okay, well, we can do it. Hey, well, yeah. Well,
two quick points. Yeah. First of all, Michi has said that to me every single time I've ever talked to her. Number one, and then number two, I did propose we do this at 1:00 in the afternoon, and she was the main driving force to have it later today.
That's true.
So she's just trying to. I don't know what she's trying to do. Actually, she's just complaining.
I just like to complain. Yeah.
She wants to find a way to guilt trip us no matter what, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. No, we'll. I don't know what other time we could do it. If we were to do it on my thing, I pretty much can't do it before midnight on a Friday. I don't think.
Well, look, we made it work this time. Let's make it work another time. We'll make it work another time.
Yeah, we've got to make it work, and I've got to go fucking listen to the whole thing and see. There's so many things I have to take out. Like that's a big job. You fucking idiots.
You just have to do a couple of beeps over the words.
A couple.
You said a lot too.
I know. Yeah, I know.
You actually probably said the most. Because
Right.
I think Astro and I both knew we weren't supposed to.
All right. Well, I'll figure it out, and I'll get on with my night of like pretending I can sleep, and I'll say I will sleep. I'm going to go to sleep. All right.
Why don't you take some medication?
I'm going to. Yes, I'm going to right now.
Okay. All right.
Hey, thanks, guys. This was awesome.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming on.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.